Sarah here at This Simple Life, and today I'm going to be sharing with y'all how our school year is going and kind of show you each piece of curriculum that we're using and how we are liking it. I want to start with my daughter's. Hers is right in front of me. I'm sitting at her school table in my room, and I think I showed y'all where we're doing school at. Well, we mostly do it in here. Sometimes we do it on the couch, sometimes on my bed, sometimes in their rooms. We got to do it all over the house, and that's okay. After we are in our 6th year of homeschooling, I believe we're in a 6th year of homeschooling, and that's just what works for us. And it kind of changes it up and kind of keeps it fresh, and it just works for us. So the first thing she does may not be in this order, but we are doing level 2, and this is for my 3rd grader. We are doing level 2 with The Good and the Beautiful, language arts, and this houses our phonics, reading, spelling, writing, grammar and punctuation, literature, poetry and memorization, art, and geography. And so far, we are loving it. It's going really, really good. Sometimes we don't get a whole lesson done. Sometimes we get more than a lesson done, and that's just the way it's been working for us. And she also has her level 2 personal reader, which she's doing really, really well on. And sometimes I'll have her read like a couple of pages a day. And then by the time they ask her questions about the story, sometimes she's already read that. And it just works really good. So I usually have her do a couple of pages a day. And it's been working really, really good. So that's been going really well. And she just has a folder that she likes to keep things in. For cursive, I started out with using level 3 from The Good and the Beautiful to teach her cursive, and it just wasn't working for her, and it wasn't anything negative about the curriculum. It just, I don't know, it just, for some reason, it was just not working. So I put it aside, and I did the same thing. I used this book. It's a dry erase cursive writing book that I thought I would need to use for her. I used this for my son when he was in 3rd grade. My oldest, when he was in 3rd grade, it kind of shows you each of the letters, and then they just wipe it off and all of that. And it's a really nice book and everything. But so far, we haven't been using that. We've just been using a good old tablet, a good old handwriting tablet. And this is what she does. This is just like she was practicing her eyes. And then after I had her practice her A's and her M's, then I start very quickly leading them into doing words. So now she's did her big eyes on Friday. And then tomorrow, which is Monday, she is going to be doing some of the eyes, and I don't make them go all the way across. It's really overwhelming for them. So I just have her skip down to another line. Because when she got even past this point, she was like, Mom, it's like it's going to be so many eyes. And so even though basically these 2 lines is like a whole line, it's less, and it's brain thing. So I have her do, so then tomorrow her things will be to do is write more eyes down to this line. Then she will start writing the word am. And she'll write that down to here, and she'll write that probably like 4 or 5 times. And then that will be her handwriting. And I find that to be very easy, but she's already writing words. And we've only been doing this about a week, and it's going really well. So we've gone through the A's. We've just done little A's, little M's. I don't remember what other letter, but and then we'll just, whatever next sentence she'll be doing I am, and then I might do her name, I am Heidi, and then she can write her name a few times, or I am a girl, or, well, she'll quickly, I think it was L's. I think I was having her do L's, and so she needs to practice on her G's, her little I's, and her R's, and then she can put I am a girl, or something like that. So it's really, really fun doing it that way. That's the way I taught my oldest. And then by the end of the year, he was writing Bible verses and copying down Bible verses in cursive. And I taught him, and this is the way it worked for him. This is the way it's working for her. And this is the way I'm not even going to order a cursive handwriting book. I'm just going to do this for my son next year, my youngest, and we're going to call it good. So math. She's doing level 2 math. And the way I do it is I just tear out pages as they do it, because it shows that, that they are progressing. They're getting less and less in this book. This is the old style of the books from The Good and the Beautiful. They have since updated to simply The Good and the Beautiful, which I'm excited to try next year. But this year we just got the ones that were percentages off. And so we are doing the old style. So we are still in book 1. And this is math 2. And she's doing really, really good with this level. And it's kind of fun because the way I do it with the two of them, my younger two are in the same, I put them in the same level. And she struggles with math and he doesn't. So I put him in the same level. And it is really fun to see because sometimes I kind of make it like not really a competition, but it is kind of like a competition game of sorts. Like when there's a page of, let me give kind of an idea. Well, now they're not going to have any. But sometimes they do like this. They'll do like a section where they do a bunch of math problems and stuff like that. So I'll say, okay, what's 14 take away 7? Or, you know, and just kind of quickly, and they'll be like scrambling. And it has really helped my daughter improve upon her math, just to be thinking about that. Or like it says 14 take away 12. It's like, oh, how much is left? Because she knows her brother's going to get it really fast. And so it's kind of like an incentive, or so you will, to get her to get it done. And the next thing is they do Bible. All three of my kids do Bible. They don't often do it together. I just found that just wasn't working too well. So what I do is I tear out pages every night before we go to bed or whatever, and I lay it out. I have everything laid out on the table ready to go for them, so I can be working with my youngest, or I can be working with my daughter. And then my oldest can do a lot of all of his independent type stuff. And then I can help him with his math or just whatever. I have it that way to where I have them to do handwriting by themselves. Then they can do their Bible, and then they can do Explode the Code. And it just works really well. So yes, I just pulled out one of the Bible books, but they are all three doing this. And it is going really, really well. I absolutely love it. It's brought up so many good discussions. And even though my oldest is kind of too old to be doing this particular level, I find that it's really, really good. And we actually downloaded Hoopla. And I highly recommend Hoopla, where you can like listen to books. We've listened to a lot of books already this year. And one thing I really am loving going through, and that's the Christian Heroes Then and Now series. We have done Adoniram Judson. We're almost done with Gladys Elward, and we are looking forward to our next story as well. And we are really loving that. We just do a couple chapters a day. It's no big deal. Sometimes we have time for more, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have to just skip it, honestly. But we always do a page of the Bible every day, and it's been going really, really well. And the way I find, even if it's got like a couple of pages for a lesson, we still just do the one page. We still just do one page, and that's it. Then with their history, we have this student workbook, and it just kind of, I just tear out one of the pages while I'm reading history, and they get to draw pictures or whatever. It just keeps their little hands busy for when we need to do that. Then for science, my younger two talked about this, did a whole video dedicated to this. My younger two are doing life science with master books, and they are still on Plans for Beginners. Soon they will be moving into human body, I believe. Let me see how much further. We're going to be moving into that after Christmas, actually. Yeah, it's looking like probably after Christmas we'll start the human body. Yeah. It's looking like after Christmas we'll be starting the human body part, but it's really, we love it. It's my younger two love it. Sometimes we do the stories together, and they love it. They love answering the questions and learning new stuff. They love it. They absolutely love it, and I love it too. And last thing for my daughter is she is doing, besides history, she does do history with us, which I think I showed you her history student workbook. Is Explode the Code. They do one page a day. All three of my kids do different levels, but they do Explode the Code every single day, and they love it. They absolutely love it. They do good, and it really, really enforces spelling. I really do love it. Alrighty, the next stack that we will do is for my second grader. Alrighty, let's move his stack in and move her stack out so I don't redo it. Of course, he does do Bible. He has the same Bible book and the same history book, the same history notebook. And he is doing language arts with the good and the beautiful. And it is going really well with him as well. Like I said, I don't ever feel pressure to do a whole lesson. If we can't do a whole lesson, that's fine. Some days, especially at his age, he has some moody moments. My daughter, even 3rd grade, has some moody moments. Heck, even my 8th grader has some moody moments. He sometimes has to suck it up and get his schoolwork done. Come on, he's in 8th grade. It's time to learn how to, I don't know, when you're in 8th grade, you got a lot piled on you, but sometimes, hey, we all need a moment. Sometimes I can have a bad day, and you know what? Just take a breather. Let's have 30 minutes. Let's just spread apart, have some space, have some me time or whatever, go to our own corners and come back at it. Doing great. All right, so he's doing language arts, level 1 with the good and the beautiful. He is in 2nd grade, but as many of you probably already know that their language arts, and if you don't know, this is a good tip to know, is a lot of their language arts, well, pretty much all their language arts are 1 level ahead. And when you get to level 8, it has like storybooks and where you read the book and then you have a book that goes along with it to like answer questions, that type of thing. That's what they do for 8th grade. And so it's working really good just to kind of step back and put my son in level 1. And then by the time he's in level 7, he'll still do a whole year of language arts. Okay, so he does language arts and he has a book with his. They're level 1 reader, and I absolutely love these stories. They are so sweet. And again, I just have him do either a few pages or a whole little story, depending on the length of the story. Sometimes he feels like it's overwhelming and too much, and I'll say, you know what, just read half of it and you're done. And so he does that, and this one was Betsy's birthday, so that's the one he'll read tomorrow. Of course, he has his science with master books, and he also has handwriting level 2 with the good and the beautiful, and next year he will be learning cursive the same as his sister this year, and I love it. This is what their lessons look like. They're really nice, and I do think they do expect you to do like maybe one side, front and back, and he just does this side, and then he's done with his, and then he as well is doing math level 2 from the good and the beautiful, and that is going really well. I'm really loving it. I love the way they teach it. I love the way they use these real life scenarios and real life situations, and I absolutely love that. I'm all about using real life to bring it into the school. It feels very Charlotte Mason, and I tend to be drawn to Charlotte Mason a lot. So that is all. And he also has Explode the Code. He is doing level 1, Explode the Code, and it's something he can do on his own. It also enforces that spelling. I absolutely love Explode the Code. I cannot recommend it enough. So, I should also add that my younger two also have Phonics cards that go along with their language arts from the good and the beautiful. I just ordered one package and they share them, and it's all different words, and it is really fun. They really, really, really like these cards a lot. It's all different words, and they love it, and I just pull out like maybe 7 cards a week, and it kind of gets them familiar with how the words look, how they're spelled, because to be honest, some of the words are very confusing, and my daughter, she struggles with spelling, and it's just some of them are really hard. And you can say, well, it really doesn't make sense, but this is how it's spelled. But by them seeing it over and over again will make them familiar with how it's spelled. So my son, he is in the 8th grade, and he does Explode the Code level 7. And that's just something he can do independently. And then he also does level 7 with the good and the beautiful, their language arts. I absolutely love it. Jam-packed with all the subjects, all the things. The only thing I don't have him do as much and that is writing, and I will get to that in a second as to why I'm not having him do as much of the writing assignments as is recommended or required for the course. And I will tell you in a second why not. So he is doing, these cards come with his level from The Good and the Beautiful, and they are states and things like that. And they're really, really nice. So it kind of shows you, oh, like this one, it says, point to the following states and say the capital city of each state. And then this would be my side, has all the answers, and his side is blank. But I usually let him work on those. I give him about 10 to 20 cards a week, or every 2 weeks I give him that many cards, just depending on how much we need it. This comes with his language arts level 7 from The Good and the Beautiful. He is on the Blind Brothers story. There's lots of stories. Let me see. Mary Jones and her Bible, and all of these things, they do have a biblical worldview. The language, The Good and the Beautiful does. So in case anyone is wondering, Tony the Woodcarver, Rudy, I think Rudy wrote the story Heidi, if I'm not mistaken. Short stories by Leo Tolstoy. Monty the Goat Boy. Oh, and she all, I believe this story writer also wrote. So there may be a lot of them in there. Dick Whittington and his cat. And they are very clean stories, very good. And if they at once didn't have all the right morals, then The Good and the Beautiful actually removes things that are negative and puts in positive things, which I truly appreciate, because I do not have time to go through and scan and read every book that my kids read. So I always look on their recommended list or look through their library and things like that and try to look for books that are either recommended by them, or they have a recommended list, and they also have a library where they sell lots of books. This is another thing that he does, is excursions in literature. I don't have him do any of the questions or anything. Is he just strictly reads the book because I just think it's good. We did this last year with Bob Jones, and I just purchased the book. I actually bought it on Thrift Books for like $5 or $7, and I just loved the stories. They were moving stories, and I also don't have to worry about bad profanity or sexual scenes or anything like that. I don't have to worry about any of this stuff because I know Bob Jones would not put out anything that is bad like that. So I know they have proofread it. So then we have, with his level 7, I hope this is not confusing. I was trying to not make this an hour long, so I'm kind of quickly going through it. This is his level 7 course companion that goes with his level 7 with The Good and the Beautiful. And it has my answers. So I usually am looking at that book while I'm teaching him. And then also it has poems, and their poems are really, really good. Then it also has commonly confused words like loose and lose. It has sentences with each of those in there, which is really good. Or there, like over there, there like their house, or there as in they are. It has all the different, like, shows you how to sentence diagram. It has capitalization rules. It has all basically the grammar rules. All the grammar rules, lays them out really nicely in this book. I highly cannot recommend The Good and the Beautiful just for these things alone. I mean, these are like priceless. I mean, it was so nice. Like we did Bob Jones last year. We had done The Good and the Beautiful in the past, kind of when they first came out. And then we decided, I don't know, I guess, saw some videos and the grass looked a little greener over in the Bob Jones with the Bob Jones curriculum. And I just thought, well, it would be really good for my kids to all be on the same thing, and then I don't have to like look for all the different pieces. But then I kind of find that I just would like to have like everything from The Good and the Beautiful, or everything from Bob Jones, or everything from Rebecca, because we're always definitely looking for that biblical worldview. But I find that now I know why people like go for this piece. Oh, wow, they just love history from this curriculum place and language arts from there. It's that it just not everything that a company sells is going to work for every kid. And so we just go with it. So we do language arts with the Good and the Beautiful for all my kids, and it works really fantastic. The other thing they do, my oldest does, my 8th grader does, and I am loving this so much. It is IEW Fix-It Grammar with, it's the story of the nose tree. And this is how come I don't have him do all of the writing assignments with the Good and the Beautiful, is because he is rewriting a whole entire story with Fix-It Grammar. And I actually had the writing, I actually ordered a whole writing curriculum with IEW, but I realized he had such a load with just doing these things. And so I was like, okay, we're going to really focus on 8th grade, but in 9th grade, he's going to be doing level 2 Fix-It Grammar, and he's going to be doing the writing that I already have purchased. So that's basically going to be one piece for his 9th grade year. So I've already got it all taken care of. So Fix-It Grammar, the nose tree. This is a teacher's manual. It looks exactly like the student book, which is so nice. I love it that it's spiral bound. I cannot say enough about Fix-It Grammar IEW. It is phenomenal. Like, I love it so much. This is a teacher guide. It is quite a bit thicker than this because he's basically only rewriting the stories, and it takes it day by day, week by week. Since he is basically, here, I'll show you a week. Here's one. It basically starts out so easy. Like, definitely kids that are younger than him could be doing it. But I think that this was a good year for him to be doing this. Like, he's rewriting his story, and it, like, I don't know what it is, but seeing him just, I think at the first few weeks, it was kind of a little intimidating. Like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to rewrite this entire book. But they go just tiny chunks. It's so awesome. I cannot recommend Fix-It Grammar and IEW enough. I love it. I cannot believe it. It really doesn't take that much time either, but it is so good. He's improving on his grammar. He's picking out these words so much faster than he was even at the beginning of the year. It starts out really super simple. I will show you guys. It starts out, and I did just have him do like one sentence a week, one sentence a day at the beginning, but now I'm having him do a couple of sentences a day, and it's totally good, and he's doable because he's in 8th grade. So at the very beginning, like this is just day 1, like literally, that's just day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. And it kind of shows you what you are going to be needing up here. Like, you need to indent when you see this. I mean, it tells you, like, indent that sentence when you're writing it in your spiral. Then you have end marks and nouns. Pick out nouns, which is normally like 2 nouns at the beginning. It was so simple, but it helped with his intimidation. And at the back of the spiral, this is how they recommend doing this. Just keep it in the back. It has all of the defining words that he's done. So he's defined a bunch of words already, like a bunch of words. Like, we just keep those in the back of the book. But it is so cool, guys, to see him rewriting. Y'all, that's like a lot of writing right there. It is helping with penmanship. It is helping with, I haven't even had him start any kind of handwriting book. We may start that after Christmas if we want to. But, yeah, it is so cool. He's already done several weeks, but I'll show you. It does get progressively harder, but not like overwhelming or too much to do. Like, I'll show you. Like, it does, the sentences definitely get stronger, which is expected, see? And he was supposed to find like maybe 4 nouns, 2 articles, 2 pronouns, who, which word, and then he defines the words. And I usually have circled the defining words that he's supposed to define. And if he does it, he doesn't always circle. To me, it's just like, it just kind of makes them, I mean, they're in bolded black, but I think it just helps with being able to like really see them, like, you know, and then to take it out and things like that. But yeah, it's just been, I cannot recommend. I really did not know I would be this sold on it. So that's how come I'm having him do less of the writing portions, even though that's not completely a thing of the past. He still does have to do some of the writing things with The Good and the Beautiful, but I am having him do less because he's correcting and rewriting a story, which is so cool. I find that I would have loved doing this when I was in school. Just being able to have IEW at my fingertips. All right. The last thing, of course, we're doing, I do not have it in here, but we're doing Matthew C. pre-algebra. And let me tell you, it's a thing. It's a job. I'm not gonna lie. It's a thing. It's moments where we have been like, oh my gosh, like math. We're getting in there. We're getting into the nitty gritty of math and finding out how much I forgot. But I'm having fun. I'm having fun revisiting these things, these concepts and things that I had just, oh wow, I forgot I was doing all this. Like it's been a thing. It's been yeah, but I really love Matthew C. I love the way Matthew C. teaches. I love Mr. Demi, the way he teaches the math concepts and everything like that. But sometimes it's slow and steady. But what is it? That old saying, slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady. I'm living by that. So, all right. And then the final thing he is doing life science with master books. He is doing the level, actually it says 3rd through 8th grade. And it is the world of plants, the human body, and the world of animals. And wow, it's a lot too, but it's good. It's really, really good. Sometimes we don't do all the projects and all the things, but he is consuming the information. He is taking it in. I mean, y'all, kids are like sponges. They like this stuff. This is good for them. And I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it's good for them. But anyway, so of course he does his Bible. We do read alouds. We do, and the way I do it with, like at night or in the evening, and I find because after a long day of math and science and fixing grammar and language arts with the good and the beautiful, and what else? Explode the code. What else? And oh yeah, and he has reading. Oh yeah, he has his reading, his literature, his level 7 language book, and whatever other book I might assign to him, which I haven't done so yet, but it's coming. The day is coming. Because as soon as, once probably we get past the holidays, and that's when I start being like, okay, either pick out a book from the library, we're gonna make sure it's a good book, and then, or pick one off of our shelf. So yeah, we start doing things like that. But anyway, in the evening, I find that them doing the history and listening to our Bible read aloud is really the best time, because their brains, they're tired from school and doing all the things. It's just a lot to pile on to do history and remember all that as well. So we do the lessons in the evening, and I find I just give them a clipboard, and I also throw some coloring books out there, and I'm just like, you listen, answer the questions, and we'll be good to go. We are going to be doing, I think I showed y'all pretty much everything except finally history. And these pages come out of the history student work notebook, and they each one have a clipboard and one of those papers on there for them, and whatever else I might clip on there for them to do. Okay, these are our read alouds that we are currently doing. We have already done, like I said, Adoniram Judson. I wish I had my planner that has all the books we've read. So in our next update, which I'm planning on doing one around Christmas, or maybe not Christmas, so we'll do another update in January and tell you how we are still enjoying all these things. And I hope this video is not incredibly long, but I have three kids, all the subjects, and I like to talk about a little bit about each of the subjects. That's just the way I am. So the final thing I'm going to be sharing with y'all is history, which you saw their student work notebooks already. They all three have one. They all have a Bible notebook. But then this is going to be our new read aloud starting tonight or tomorrow. And it is Tolliver's Secret. It's just like a history read aloud. I've never read it before, but I've heard it's good. I've heard it's clean. And we're going to hope that it's good and clean. And we are already pulling out. Yes, I know it is only the beginning going into the second week of November. But yes, I'm already in the Christmas spirit. I'm already pulling out all the Christmas things. And yes, I already have my tree up. So look for a video coming very soon about our Christmas, because I think it would be fun. I'm already seeing some Christmas home tours. So hopefully I will have everything ready, everything finished putting up by then. I still have like a pile of Christmas stuff over there that I would like to disperse throughout the house, but honestly, I bought a few things new this year and kind of changed it up just a little, not much. I really didn't buy that much stuff, but yeah, hope you guys enjoy that. And so yeah, my all-time favorite Christmas story ever. It's kind of a winter story, but well, no, it actually is a Christmas story. Y'all have never read this book. It is a Newbery Honor book. And it is one of my absolute favorites. My kids always know every year it's coming out. It's coming out. And if I see it for sale, like at a thrift store or at the store, which I hardly ever see this book at the store, but I do see it at thrift stores from time to time. And they always snatch it for me. They're like, Mom wants this book, because they know I gift it to people. I absolutely love this book. It is so sweet. It is set in Paris. It is about a man. He lives under the bridge. It's pretty obvious from the title. But, oh my goodness, it is Christmas. It's just, I don't know, the giving and the helping, and it's just beautiful. I absolutely love it. I cannot love it enough. The Family Under the Bridge. I cannot recommend it enough. It is a Newbery Honor book, and I am not surprised. The next thing we are reading is the Thanksgiving story. It's like a Thanksgiving picture book. We are going through it just a little bit, but it kind of goes along with our history. So the Thanksgiving story, of course, Thanksgiving's coming up. And this is what we are doing for history. We are just in book 1 still. It is from Notgrass. It is Our Star-Spangled Story, and I love it. I love it. It's so fun. It is U.S. history. I wanted to really dig deep into U.S. history this year, and this is doing all the things. And so I'm already looking forward to next year and what we are going to pick for next year. And it's really doing good having it family style. My kids like it. They love to sit on the floor and color and draw and whatever. I mean, they draw war scenes and all kinds of stuff. There's just no telling what they're going to come up with, but it's been fun. It's really been fun. And I don't know, I love family style type stories. And sometimes afterwards we'll read in the Bible, or we'll listen to our missionary story. Like right now we're doing Gladys Elward. She was a missionary, a single woman. She was a missionary to China. It's been so sweet. It's been wow. I've been just hearing the story of some of the things that they did. Like, I don't know if they still do this anymore, but they would like bind the feet of the children because their bones are like really soft, where they would have like smaller feet. Oh, it's just, my kids are like, what? Like, to them, that is just, it's really interesting for my kids to learn that, because to them, they can't fathom that. They can't fathom being done that way. They can't imagine me doing something like that to them, so they could have smaller feet. And so it's really been interesting. And I even looked up, you can even look up on Google Images. I mean, beware. It is pretty graphic, some of the pictures, but yeah, about China and the feet binding. It's like a real thing. And I mean, their little shoes are just like, I mean, tiny, because their foot is completely folded in half because their feet grow that way. And these are the things like Gladys Elward. She was going to this country and she would see these things happening, and these kids with their going through the feet binding and just all the things. And it's been really interesting. And of course, the first missionary story we read about was Adoniram Judson. Oh my goodness, just all the heartache he went through, but still was going to preach to the people at of Burma, and it was just so emotional. It was so good. That was really good for my kids to hear, because, you know, I tell them about, you know, our church supports missionaries and we give money to missionaries. It's one thing to give money to missionaries, but it's another thing to actually, like, I don't know, like we've actually just, because of all the COVID stuff, you know, not a lot of missionaries have come by our churches and things like that. So we have recently been blessed for my kids to actually sit in and listen to a few missionaries in recent months. But that's been the first since before 2020, the end of 2019, or the very, very beginning of 2020. But I don't think we even heard one then. But yeah, it's really interesting for them to like see. It's one thing to be like praying for our missionaries, praying, but then to actually see it in the flesh, like the missionary in the flesh, like this man is going to the country, you know, he is raising support so he can go back to the people that God has called him to. And it's just been really, really good. And so now my kids, now that they've seen a few missionaries in the flesh, which they're good. I mean, kids are so good. They'll step out on faith and give money anyway. But since they have for sure seen it, they're always reminding me like, hey, I want to put money in the mission jug for the missionaries and things like that. So it's really, really sweet. And, but yeah, listening to the missionary stories, the Christian Hero series, Christian Heroes Then and Now series, I highly, highly recommend it, even for adults, just like going down the road driving, going to the store, like instead of turning on music, turning on a missionary book. It is they're so good. I love them. They're so well done, and they're very interesting, and the reader is always got a really good voice. It's not boring or anything like that. And the very last thing, I believe this is the very last thing that we're doing. It's a lot, and it seems like a lot, I'm sure. And it may seem overwhelming, but it's doable. All these things, because we don't do history like when we're doing math and science. We do math and science and language arts, and it actually goes by really. I want to do a video of like us doing our school during the day. I have not done one this year because it's just been kind of like, sometimes I'm not even gonna lie, especially with having cooler days, or sometimes when we get up in the morning, like when my youngest is ready to start school, I don't want to like upset that mood, you know. I want to like go with it. So sometimes I might even be in my robe still. And you know what? Sometimes I don't want to turn on the camera when I'm in my robe. And I'm just going to be really, really honest. Sometimes we've had jammy days, and that's been fun. It's really been fun, but also days where I don't want to turn on the camera because we're all in our jammies doing school. Even though it's been beautiful. This school year has been really crazy, but really beautiful and really sweet. I've really enjoyed it. It's been going really, really well. I love everything we've chosen. And the things we've chosen that didn't work, we just set them aside and changed and kept on rolling. The last thing is states and capitals. I just kind of go through and read one to my kids every now and then. My son, my oldest, he is going through with The Good and the Beautiful and doing some, but it kind of tells you facts. And I would even like to maybe start making something that's made in that state or that state's known for, like a meal or a dessert or something. I love dessert so much, y'all. I love dessert. But anyway, like California, maybe something that California is known for. Like just look up a dessert that they're known for and make it. And I think that would be so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed, I hope you consider subscribing. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.